Ma'am, good afternoon. Nisha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Shall we wait for another 5 minutes? Let the participants join, or shall we begin with?
Fine. However, it is. It's
Yeah.
all as you say.
So, as you feel, if the participants are okay, then we'll go ahead. Shall we? We shall start discussing.
Yeah, we can.
Let them join. It is 2-2 because you'll be speaking a lot and we'll be asking you more questions.
Let us see.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Unnan present here. On behalf of IQAC of Rajapalayam Rajus College, it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this sixth session of NAC-sponsored 2 days national workshop on innovative practices for data documentation of AQAR and SSR. Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. I would call upon Mrs. Bhuvaneshwari, Assistant Professor of Commerce, to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm profusely overjoyed to welcome you all for the sixth technical session relates to Criteria 6, Governance, Leadership and Management. First of all, I would like to welcome the Secretary and President of College Governing Council, Principal, Vice Principal, IQAC coordinators, HODs and faculties of all the department of our college. It is my great honor to welcome Dr. S. Badrunisha, Advisor, IQAC Cluster India, Head of Quality Control, Kripanidhi Group of Institutions, Bangalore. And also we are overwhelmed with your extreme and continuous support for the past 1 month in organizing this workshop. We welcome you, ma'am. I am also happy to welcome all the participants from various colleges for this online workshop. Once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, Madam, for your enlightening words of welcome. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. Now I would request Ms. Saranya, Assistant Professor of Computer Science, to introduce the chief guest.
Good afternoon, all. I feel grateful in introducing our chief guest for this session, Dr. Badrunisha, an advisor of IQAC Cluster India, Head of Quality Control, Kripanidhi Group of Institutions, Bangalore. She is an eminent biochemist with 1 patent and numerous national and international research publications to her credit. Her passion for research has ensured that the faculty and students of Kripanidhi Group of Institutions actively participated in research and publications. Her area of specialization are biochemistry, drug design, and enzymology. She is a personality who has comment of both arts and science. She has taught in the Ballari Institute of Technology and Management for 13 years. In the year of 2016, she moved to Bangalore and joined in Kripanidhi Group of Institutions. Most importantly, she has teamed up with IQAC Cluster India from 5 years. Besides being a certified technical teacher from Cambridge, she is also certified as ISO Lead Auditor Award, Best Principal and Lifetime Achievement Award for innovations in teaching, along with the Appreciation Award from Chairman Kripanidhi Group of Institutions for successful implementation of quality in the institution. Without taking much of your time, I extend my hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for your nice words of introduction. It's a great honor to have Dr. Badrunisha Madam is with us today. You are sculpture of humanity, so far enlightening us with your words. I would like to call upon Dr. Badrunisha Madam to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you so much, Sharanya, for giving my introduction, an insightful introduction. I'm really very much thankful for the management of Rajapalayam College, Suganya, and all the faculty members who are tirelessly working from 1 month for this sessions to happen smoothly. With this thing, I want to share my um, presentation. I want just can help that can you able to see my presentation or my voice is audible. I just want to know in the beginning so that we can go
You're
smoothly.
audible, ma'am. You please share your presentation.
Thank you. Is this is visible?
Yes. Yeah, it's visible.
It's now
Yeah.
it's full screen.
Yeah, it's full screen, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So from yesterday, all of you were listening about the NAC criteria wise and matrices, all those things, which is happening and making us much more clear one way. On the other way, it is making us tense also that so many things has to be done and if we want NAC, we have to go through number of aspects in each criteria. So coming towards the criteria 6, that all includes governance, leadership, and management. All these three are one such words which directly fits good for the leaders. It could be the management, it could be the IQAC head, or it can be the principal and head of the departments. All these criteria revolve around such people who are really involved in creating the policies, managing the things, and looking at the attainments of what all happening in the institution. So let us go one by one that what exactly is going to happen here, as the criteria is having 5 different splits, that is 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, and 6.4 and 5. In this 5 splits, the 100 marks has been divided into these 5 splits, that is 10, 10, 30, 20, and 30. Though it looks like that all the questions are related with the management and things will happen automatically in the management, but the way you present what is happening in your institution at the leadership level and at the decentralization level and documenting those things and producing that is one of the important aspect in criteria 6. Most of the questions in criteria 6 are QLM, where you have to write 500 words if it is SSR, and you have to write 200 words if it is AQAR. Questions remain same for both AQAR and SSR. Only the write-up wordings will be limited to 200 and 500 words. Here, I just want to discuss that's your mind to think. Whoever is present in this session today has to think themselves as a leader. You could be a leader as an IQAC coordinator, you could be a leader as an head of the department, you could be a leader as a principal or as a management. It's an imaginary situation you can create in your mind, because whatever I'm going to discuss, you have to think keeping you on the seat as a leader, and then what leader can do for the progression or for the implementation of the institution. Now, how, if at all I'm a leader and I'm going to start one college as an higher education, so what exactly I'm going to do first? Whenever this comes into my mind, I start that why I'm doing this, why I want to create this business of education industry or education institute. What is my mission? And then I say that I visualize as a leader that today I am starting, tomorrow I am going to reach to this. Now, when this comes today and tomorrow, to from today to reach for tomorrow, what the strategies I am going to draw, how I create the path to reach for tomorrow's vision. And when I'm creating the path, I am alone cannot do. I require a people who should support me, who should give me all the ways of and support to reach to that particular thing which I have visualized. That is where the criteria starts, that what is your institutional mission and what is your vision and who all are helping you and what is the strategies you have created to reach to that particular vision. Now, I'm just going through this slide to make you very clear that what these words means. Here you can see, as I said, that everything starts with mission. What is mission means? Purpose of the institution. Why that institution has been started? What is the purpose of it? When you are defining this, then it is called as a mission. I am clearing this because many a times I see the colleges will put the vision mission in their website, which will be not matching what exactly they are doing, which will not match what exactly is happening with them. They will write some sentences simply which is relevant or irrelevant. Nobody is there to check that it is relevant or irrelevant. But when you are submitting this to NAC, NAC definitely will verify. So here I suggest that you please go through your mission and vision of your institute, and if you have to reframe, you can reframe now, looking at what exactly is happening in your institution, what was the purpose that you have started that particular institution. Please do reframe your mission if it is incorrect. If it is correct, then prove that the same things is happening what has been written in your mission. As I said, when you know the purpose of it, then in a given time. Here I'm mentioning that the time limit, because NAC wants 5 years of time, AQAR wants 1 year of time, and even we, whenever we visualize something, we say we want to be this after this time, maybe after 6 months, maybe after 1 year, maybe after 5 years, maybe 10 years. So your visionary things is something which is bound to a time. So you want to be this. For example, if you say HEI, Higher Education Institute, now having a purpose that they want to serve the local areas, or they want to serve the people or the stakeholders, the vision should be like, after 5 years time, I have to serve these many people as a stakeholders, or I have to give a particular skill for the people who could be the tomorrow's youths for the nation. So your vision and the time is one thing which, when you are planning a vision, you have to have a given time, that when you are reaching to that particular goal. Generally, we call this as the achievements which we are going to do. Like now we started the institution. After 10 years I want to be NAC. After 15 years I want to be an university. After that I want to be an what is that, deemed to be an university. So all these kind of things which has to be visualized. And who will do this? This will be done by your management. I'm sorry, I have a bad throat here and there. I'll be little bit coughing and stopping. I'm sorry for that. So now what I mean to say here is your institutional management will set these two goals. Now, communicating these two things to all the stakeholders is a important aspect, because everybody should understand. Like if the management is thinking that I want to be an university after 10 years and no one knows about this has been not communicated to the principals, this has been not communicated to the IQAC people, then there is no use of such kind of ambition. If at all your college wants to be a research center after 3 years of time, and it has been not communicated to the principals or the head of the departments or the students, then there is no point in keeping such vision in mind. Whatever you are writing the vision, a particular activities related to that vision should be happening. There we go with planning. Once we understand the mission and vision, then we will plan to achieve that what has been visualized, what has been kept as an vision. Like if I want to be an research oriented institution, then strategy has to be developed for that particular research area, which is going to give you or complete that vision after that particular time. Then goals. Goals are something which time bound measures. Now here in the goals we keep a short time so that we can understand that we are taking a right path or no. Like say after 10 years I want to be a university, or after 10 years I want to, after 3 years I want to be an research institute. Then I have done and strategy that after 3 years I want to be an uh, research institute. For that I am collaborating with these companies, I am collaborating with government, I am working on projects to be taken so that our college will be known as one of the research center. All those things, applying for research center, all that. Now in the goal I say that in 6 months of time I am going to apply and take the approval of research center, and in 1 year of time I am going to produce 10 high impact factor research papers so that I can reach the goal of that particular point. So in your vision, if you have 3 such different tasks, then your strategy to be planned for 5 years for that 3 points. And for that 3 points, the goals may be more than 3, more than 10, because you are splitting that complex thing into and smaller things and trying to reach to that particular thing in a given time. This is what has to be understood by the person who really dealing with the criteria 6. It is one of the criteria which will be evaluated. Most of the questions will be evaluated by peer team member, and also it requires an attention. When you are answering something, it is on behalf of management you are going to talk all the questions which has been asked. So according to me, the IQAC coordinator along with some senior person has to be done with this criteria. Moving here, the outline of academics, because we are talking about the academics in HEIs. most of the things what will happen, these things should be understood when you are sitting to work with criteria 6, that what is your core processes. You have to understand that what is your input for your institution and what is output. See, for any academic college, your input is students and regulatory requirements, maybe the affiliating body, maybe AICT, maybe government, or maybe any other people of that state who is involved as a regulatory people to start your institution. At the starting point, what generally any institution will do is plan for admissions, plan for human resources, and plan for infrastructure. See, I have started, I got all the approvals from statutory body, but still I require classrooms, I require the teachers, I require the admin people, I require the planning of admission, that from where I'm going to get the admission, how I have to advertise. All this has to be set before you start your activity. So this has to be understood by the criteria 6 person who really wants to work on it. Now, in the activity, what is happening in the activity has to be clear in the mind, that the core processes, what is going to happen with the academics is teaching, learning, internal assessment, university exams, library things, extracurricular activities, sports, so many things which is going to happen. Now, at core thing for us is teaching, learning, internal assessments, and exams. Extracurricular activities. Apart from this, you will find the supporting processes also. Like, you are teaching, fine. Students have joined to you, fine. Now there are requirements for the students. Maybe they are in need of hostel. Then hostel process is a sub process of your core process. It is not the direct process for you. At the same time, transport cannot be a core process for you, but you need a support process to satisfy your stakeholders. Likewise, there are number of other processes which will join for this. But now with this slide, I am just trying to show you the core processes. At least this much should be there in the mind of a person who is working with criteria 6. Also, the person should be very much aware that what is the end point of it. As I said, the end point is nothing but evaluation, placement, careers, and career development programs, which will be given to the student, and the output will be graduated student. So our input and our output, in between, what all is happening, this thing should be very, very clear when you are really sitting for writing criteria 6. Now let us move on to a question. 6.1, which is institutional vision and leadership. It's a direct question to understand that have you understood the mission and vision of your own institute, and is the leadership is working towards that particular vision or mission, vision and mission which has been set by your management. The question is clear, that how is your governance and how is your leadership, which is in accordance with the vision and mission. The word accordance is very important here, that you have to understand each word and each letter of the vision and mission which has been written and displayed in your website or anywhere at your college, has to be understood by everybody that what exactly it is. So now how you are reaching, as I said in the previous slides, that you have to strategize it, you have to decentralize it, You have to take a participation in each and every point to see the success of it. Now here you can see the vision. I have shown one picture, which is the thing which has been given and everybody knows about the vision. And trust or your management is having some mission. And here you can see centralized, that is one person, that is one center point for which everybody are connected to that. However, you can see the decentralization where you have leaders connected here and there, and each are interconnected by the different ways. Finally, all together are going to achieve the same vision. This decentralization is very, very important, and this you have to prove in this particular question. Now the question looks like this. I have just taken the screenshot of the question, how it appears when you are directly entering your data into your entering your data in your portal. Now it looks like this. You will find a box where you are writing some 500 words here if it is SSR. You are writing 200 words if it is AQAR. Below which you can see that you have to paste the link for additional information. What link will go here? Here, the link of your website where your vision and mission has been explained, that will go here. And below which there is another thing which it is asking about, upload any additional information. Now, what to upload in additional information? And here you see down I have written, when I'm writing this question, the 500 words, what all I should include? I should include about governing council meetings, like how the governing council meeting will take place, what decisions will be taken in that governing council, and how frequently this governing council takes place, and how your IQAC meetings are connected with governing council, because you are trying to show here that this has been decentralized, this has been communicated from the management to the principal and to the IQAC. Then IQAC has to connect to departmental meetings, and to the departments this has to be shown. So these are the things which you have to keep in mind when you are writing your 500 words, whatever the way it is happening in your institution. But see to it that the flow of information from the higher end to the lower end, and from the lower end towards the higher end, is happening properly with the documents. Now, what exactly the things as additional informations you can give here is the standard operating procedure or SOP for governance and policies of the institutions in line with the vision and mission. As I said in the previous slide, that should understand first your vision and whatever the policies you are dropping down, whatever the policies, like I said, research as one of the example. Then have you drawn a policy for that? What is your governance policy first? What your governance policy say? Governance, what is the SOP or what is the operating procedure for your governance? When your governance, when your governing council meet, yearly 2 times, yearly 1 time, at what particular time they meet, what all they discuss, and how they check that what they have been discussed. Many colleges, I see the documents will be there of governing council meeting, but what has happened to the previous meeting, the report of the previous meeting will be missing, or the meeting has been done for this year, that is over, end. There is no connectivity for the next year with the previous meeting. Or what has been happened, what is pending, why that is pending, why that has been not happened, if it has been happened, what further to be done for that. These things will be missing in many of the governing council meetings. Now, this has to be taken care here, where you have to write the procedure for governance, that governing council will meet yearly twice with who all the members, and then what all will be discussed, and then how it will be taken further to communicate to the other people, and how the strategies will be taken for further things. Then your in additional information also you have to give governing I'm sorry, governing body member list. If is the members are changing, there will be number of reasons that the governing body may change or the members may change. How you are entering, what is the SOP to enter the new member or add the new member, all that. Every year, the governing body members list has to be given, and minutes of meeting of the governing body, which has to be certified by secretary for each year, or one of the chairperson of that particular time, has to be sealed, signed along with principal attestation. This has to be uploaded here to support your talk, whatever you have written in this particular box. Moving towards our next question, 6.1.2. Here, two things we should understand: that effective leadership. The question asks that is your leadership is effective, and is your leadership is being visible? How? Through practices, institutional practices such as decentralization and participative management. Here, again, management review meetings. It is not governing council meeting. It is a management review meeting. Here, it is not necessary that all the governing body members should be there. It is a principal and the director or secretary or chairperson, whoever the designated people at the management level who is available with you, can do a review meeting. It is called review meeting. That means in governing council, this has been set, and now you are reviewing that how much has been happened after 3 months, after 6 months. Then attainment and risk register. Say for example, university results has been discussed, that this year the results has been decided to reach to 80%. Like the teachers have to work in a way that they have to reach to 80% of the result and at least one rank in the university. So you have set a goal for teaching. Same way, you can set a goal that I need a percentile of the placement to increase to around 30% or 40%. Right? So you have made a quantitative measurements been discussed in the governing council. Now you are reviewing, saying that have you attained that? If not, what is the risk? If a student has been not placed, see, I decided to 30%, but I could able to do only 10%. If the principal is showing that 10% only has happened, even though it has been discussed as 30%, what could be the risk of this? It may affect your admissions later. It may affect your institutional branding tomorrow, right? So you can discuss these risks and you maintain that register and draw an strategy again to convert this risk to opportunity. So this maintenance, what you have kept, is a document to show that your leadership is visible and to show that your leadership is in practice. You have to show that you have number of committees, like say examination cell, you have college academic committee, you have IQAC committee, you have ethical committee, you have, it depends. I have given here some examples. Some of the committees you have where you have decentralized your work, like examination part of the things will be taken care by examination cell. But are you reviewing that? Is attaining what has been put, or it is going towards a risk? So this is very much required to showcase your leadership. This attainment risk register, opportunity register is very, very important aspect to showcase that your leadership is there. Showcase the decentralization, you have to talk about different committees of the colleges where you have given a proper roles. You have communicated the responsibility. Who is responsible for examination cell? We say examination cell head, but ultimately it is not the head, only principal is doing. This should not happen. Principal can review examination cell, but the examination decisions, what is the authority given to that particular cell, the cell has to handle. Same way, you can showcase some important kind of and committees which is capable of taking some decisions, small decisions maybe, to improve the things and decentralize the work and reach to a proper visionary thing which has been kept in mind. Now this I have just given to show you that how this has to be executed. I mean, how you can showcase that the work is decentralized, how you can showcase that the leadership is visible. One particular job canvas I had tried to show here that how exactly this will be decentralized. See, consumption of jobs or the kind of thing which will come from the management or from the IQAC or from the principal or from the HODs. These are the people who define the jobs, who define that what has to be done, right? Now, while defining, how you define, you cannot order it. You have to create the policy and say that as per this particular policy, you have the authority to do these things. Locate that properly. How do you locate? By giving a proper procedure. Like if you are telling that examination should happen, if you are telling that internal assessment has to be carried out by these three members, then give a proper procedure that first what has to be done, second what has to be done, then who has to prepare the timetable, who has to prepare the invigilation chart, and who has to be preparing the question papers, how the question papers to be selected. You write each and everything in your procedure and hand over that procedure to a person whom you are giving this authority. Then prepare them. Preparing is nothing but the giving all their requirements. Like you ask them to do the job, but you have not given the proper infrastructure, you have not given the proper requirements to them, then they will not be, it is not possible to do that job. So you try to tell them that how exactly, what are their requirements. They may require an examination room, they may require a proper space to keep their question paper, answer sheets, their documents, all those things. See to it that you are reaching to their requirements. Then confirm that that person now is ready to execute the job. Now, once you have done all these things, who is doing this? The person who is allotting the job. It can be management, it can be IQAC, it can be principal, or it can be HOD. Then look into the outcome. After doing all this, you have to check for the outcome. If the outcome is not coming, how we check the outcome? We check the outcome by keeping an indicators, or we call it as KPI, that is the key process indicators. One process, like for examination is one process. What are the key indicators for that? You just check is that key indicators has been reached. Then if it has been not reached, revise the procedure so that you can fit into a proper thing, and then conclude that the procedure is working or not working. Now related jobs will be there. Maybe this job, when you have given, this job will be related with some other department or some other procedure or some other policy. See to it that where it is connecting. Now, many a times examination or internal assessment will be connected with teaching, like the syllabus coverage. You say every 1 month you conduct the internal assessment. Now the connecting job for that is, in that 1 month, how much of the syllabus to be covered. Now every month they are conducting the internals. Policy is going perfectly good. But after 3 internals, your syllabus covered is only 30%. See, when you are conducting 3 internals, you should see to it also that 100% syllabus being covered. This is interlinked job. So you should see to it that the policy of the interlinked policy has to be connected with the other policy. Say you, in 1 month, the teaching faculty has to complete the portion of 30%, and first internal will be conducted, then another 30% in next month, where second internal will be connected. Likewise, by 3 exams, 90% of the syllabus will be covered. So KPIs plays a very, very important role to say that attainment has been happened or not. Is happening perfectly. Sometimes it will be happening more than that of the expectation, and that is also bad. That is that more than the expectation is going towards reducing your cost, or it is going towards the complexity. You have to look into it to change the things. All this has to keep in mind when you are answering this particular question. You can select any such kind of an policy or policies to explain in this particular question, and accordingly you can give your supporting documents here. After the clearance of 6.1, let me discuss about 6.2, that is nothing but strategic development and deployment. Now, you should understand the administrative setup of the college. The person who is sitting with criteria 6 should know that what is the administrative setup of the college. Here I have shown one, like say you have board of trustees, then management, then principal. Principal is connected to vice principal, registrar, IQAC, as well as for the examination. Now registrar is connected to so many things, vice principal is connected to so many things, IQAC is connected to so many things. So, how exactly the flow is there in your institution, that you should understand and draw if you feel like it should be there in front of your eyes whenever you are writing. Draw and keep it that this is my administrative setup, and I'm going to play in this to develop or deploy. Now, see how you're developing or how you're deploying means how what you're planning, how you're executing that. The institutional strategic perspective plan is effectively deployed. That means the strategy I discussed, that's why the vision, mission, strategy, and goals. The strategy which you have created in the beginning, what kind of plans you have put, and is that plans is workable, is the question. So here you have to talk about the what was your strategic plan. That is 5-year plan you have to talk about. Objectives, and you can see here I have given strategic plan for 5 years. This is what we are going to do. If you are a first cycle, then you should decide in your perspective plan that you're going to improve this in 5 years of time. If you are going for a second cycle or consequent cycles, then you should see the first cycle report. They would have been given some suggestions. Include those suggestions as your strategies to improve yourself before going for the next cycle. Those points which has been shown as weak in your NAC report, previous NAC report. That is the best way of planning. Now you have to talk about here 1 or 2 such plans which you have decided 5 years before, and you have planned, strategized that, keeping some objective behind, right? And you have written the plan of action for which you may write the policies, you may write the procedures, right? And you have authorized some people to take action on each and everything. Here, I have given some examples like startup proofs, patent registration proof, UG students publications proof, right? Apart from that, I said any case study proof, any proof which match your write-up, anything which you have included in your write-up. The startup, patent, and UG student publication I have taken because I can explain this as an example. Say, I have written my strategic plan saying that I want to be an institution where my incubation center will be set up and will be working within 5 years. That time, that is my strategy for 5 years. For that, I have linked with some of the companies, or I have appointed a person who can take care of the incubation center, and it started working in 2 years, and by the end of 5 years I got 2 to 3 startups which has been initiated in my institution and now working in the market. So I'll show this as a proof. I'll first show that how I have initiated the incubation center, what is the policy for the policy and procedure for the incubation center, what are the roles and responsibilities of the head of the incubation center, and in the outcome, I say the startup proofs. Same way, if I have given in my strategic plan that I'm going to be a research oriented institution, then I have applied for research center. I got the research center and I have appointed a person who is really working towards this workshops related to IPR, like in criteria 3, Vinitha madam was talking about that you give the number of workshops, FDPs, all those, give them the awareness what is happening. So I have appointed a person who will take care of all these things. And finally, I could able to see that one or two people of my institution has applied for patent, or they have done the research in a very good journal. So I have done these actions and this is my outcome. Same way, like many a times we say that UG students cannot write a paper. But in my college, we have taken this as a challenge, and we have been put a specific procedure for specifically for UG students. We want at least 100 papers from UG students. That was the task. 3 years of time, we see the procedure working flawlessly, aram se, because it has become a culture. So publish the paper of that student. What I did in these 3 years is my procedure, is my plan, action, and the authorizations what I have given to a specific person to do it. Outcome is the paper published. So these are the things which I am explaining in 500 words here, and I'm going to give these as my supporting documents. So here you are going to explain what is happening in your institution. How is your decentralization is take one or two specific plans and see to it that the actions, the procedures, and the planning, how it has been went through, and then what is the outcome of that. So these things you have to be very clear in this question, and you have to give all this as your proofs. Like what you are writing, for that you should give the proof. Strategic plan you have to give. There's no go, because directly they are asking strategic plan and deployment documents on the website. So you have to display the strategic plan in your website, and also you have to display the deployment. Means I had 5 points in my plan and how I am doing it. What is the procedure? If you are writing policies and procedures against that, put that in your website. Now paste the link for additional information. Here the link what you are pasting is the outcomes of this, what has been happened. You can proudly announce through your website that our faculty has enrolled into patent. My UG students have done these many papers. The testimonials of the students who have done their startups. So these are the things which will be proudly moving in your website, and that link you are going to give here. Same way, in the additional thing, you have to give what you have written, a supporting documents of those things. Now, coming towards next question, 6.2.2, where the functioning of the institutional bodies is effective and efficient as visible from policies, administrative setups, appointments, and service rules, procedures, etc. All the questions in criteria 6 is very direct, and if you have the proper system, you can write this very easily. But if it is not having the system, then very difficult, and it will be very visible for peer team that what you have written is not matching when they come here, when they come to your institution. Here you have to write again the 500 words. I just have given down the effective means here producing results. Like you have a policy which is producing a result. Efficient means a policy which is capable of producing a result. So here to understand this thing, I have given this one procedure for evaluation process. What exactly a process should be, what should be the procedure is plan, do, and check. Many a times we talk about this, but is really happening? Is really is there in your procedure? Is it has been written as, and is it working? That is the thing which matters. So now you say in the plan, I was talking about the examination point, which is linking to the teaching policy. Here, for the internal assessment to be done, I'm linking with the teaching policy, saying that in my planning of internal assessment, I'm writing a procedure saying that 35% of the syllabus should be completed to conduct one internal, and one assignment or case study or mini project has to be given by the student to a teacher. Only that student is eligible for internal assessment. The student having 30% of the attendance only eligible for the internal assessment. Then the internal committee or the examination committee will give the list of eligible student or a consolidated report and display in the notice board before the examination, so that it will be clear enough for the students as well as for every stakeholder that why they are eligible, why they are not eligible. Then do, after this basic thing being done, they have to go for scheme of evaluation. When they are doing evaluation, I'm connecting the examination cell with the different policies and procedures. Evaluation, when they have to do, what the first thing is, you should have a proper evaluation scheme. If not the same teacher, if you want another teacher to do the evaluation of the same paper, you should have that scheme which will prove that the marks given to the student is based on the point which is there in the scheme. It is not to just come out of the biasing. Then consolidate that evaluation subject wise, mapping with COs and POs of that subject, course objectives and course outcomes and program outcomes of that particular subject. Say out of 60 students, 30 students have been got the course outcome of 1, 2, and 3, whereas remaining students have got the course outcome of 3, 2, 1, like that. It's a different kind of an what is that formats you have to do, where you have to enter the marks of these things and consolidate that evaluation, which will go with criteria 2. Then grievance record and action taken report you keep for internals or internal examination. After that, you come with an eligibility list for university exam. This is the do things. Now check. In the check, you are going to do the syllabus. Feedback of the students will be taken on the syllabus. Then teachers' feedback you are taking on the syllabus, analyzing that feedback and recording with the process owners. What is meant by process owner? Here, for this internal assessment, process owner is a teacher. Now, examination cell is the heading this process, ownership for that subject will be the teacher. So the record keeping will be at the teacher level. So the policies and the procedures should work in this effective manner. Such kind of things, if you have, that shows that you have such a kind of an policy which is producing a result. You say our evaluation is unbiased, but you have to prove that how it is unbiased. Is your policy is like that? Is your effectiveness is there in your policy or a procedure? When you give such kind of an policies and procedures and say that this is how we are working and it is unbiased, and that's why we say that our function or our institution is working effectively with an efficient things. So you have to show that here. Pick up some things which you can, which is happening in your college flawlessly, and you are having good procedures, effectiveness being seen. Explain those things here in 500 words. Along with, you also have to explain with few words, including the words related to the roles, responsibilities of principals, head of IQAC, head of the department, controller of exam. As I was telling, how much you have authorized to one person, is that is on the paper, is that has been accepted by that person, right? So these things has to be very, very clear in your mind while writing, and it has to match with your institutional activities happening in your institution. Here the additional documents to upload is recruitment policy, organogram chart, and roles, responsibilities, everybody's roles, responsibilities. It has to be displayed in your website also, and the website link has to come here, and the same should be given to the responsible person, seal signed by that responsible person, along with attestation by your principal, has to be given here. Paste the link of additional information here. All these things should be available in your website. Link to organogram, this is also should be in website. Then in additional information, you have to give the policies. Entering into the next point here, 6.2.3, that is implementation of e-governance in areas of operation. Here, in administration, e-governance means use of the softwares in these areas. If you have the software related to administration work, if you have a software related to finance and accounts, like your salaries, all is automatically done through your finance accounts department using some softwares. Students admission and support, if you have any kind of an software, and examination you are running through any of the software, then those are the things. How many, if you have all these things, you have to tick all the above you have, depending upon whatever you have. Now, what the template is asking for you is, this is one of the quantitative question where ERP document, that is the document of purchase of these softwares, then screenshots of users, user interfaces of that software, then additional information where you are paying AMCs and all for that. And you have to fill the data template. This is quantitative question. Till now, what we have discussed is qualitative questions. Here, original agreement copies of the implementation of ARP with the agency or AMC renewal of the latest academic years has to be given along with relevant bills, payment bills. How the DVV looks like is, Here you see areas of governance already, it will be there. You have to write here name of the vendor with the details, where you have purchased, what is the software you have purchased, and in which year you have purchased these things. Here, as you are aware by now that the benchmarks has been released by NAC, and still it is under discussion, as Anuradha madam also was telling, that it may take a change, but still whatever has been given now, I have just displayed here. The benchmark is if all of the above is there, you are going to score full here. Now coming to key indicator 6.3, that is how you are empowering your faculty and what is your strategies to empower your faculties. Coming here with 3.1, the institution has effective welfare measures for teaching and non-teaching staff. Here you have to write about what is the list of the measures you have, welfare measures you have for teaching and for non-teaching. Here, welfare measures means the PF will not come as welfare measure, and this, what is that, maternity leave will not come as welfare measure. The things which are imposed by the government or UGC will not come as welfare measure. Apart from this, if your institution is doing something which is giving the happiness to your teaching and non-teaching staff, such as you are giving 50% of the concession of the fees for the children of the teacher who is working with you, is welfare measure. If you are giving any kind of an insurance to your faculty members, health insurance or benefits of any other financial things, like they're in their need, this much of amount they can take as a loan without interest, such kind of things will come as an welfare. And if you are giving food for non-teaching staff at free of cost, it will come. And if you are giving a specific and special leaves for the PhD or for research, or say you are giving financial support for their education, further education. Like in your college, you have a research center and you have waived off the PhD fees for your faculty, whereas you are taking the fees from the other students who are joining for PhD. All this will come as an welfare measures that only your institution and you will be knowing what is that what you are giving for. So separate that for teaching this, for non-teaching this. Then here the documents what you are going to give is list of welfare measures for teaching and non-teaching staff. How you are communicating that these are the things available. Like say fee concession is available, but they should know to avail that, right? So every year you have to give a circular to the teaching and non-teaching staff saying that these are the welfare measures from the managers directed by the management is available. So that circular along with this list should be available. Then list of the people who is availing that each year. How many have availed? You have the policy, but how many have availed that? So clear proof of that. Like say one of the teacher wants to admit their child to the organization with 50% concession as per the welfare measure. They have to give a request letter saying that we require under this particular thing, and then the management has to approve that. Those documents, like who has availed and what is the supporting document of that. Then income and expenditure statements highlighting faculty welfare or development. How much of the amount has been given that way to this one? This has to be reflected in expenditure statement, income and expenditure statement, and has to be certified by CA and attested by principal. So year wise for 5 years. Sorry. Here you can see the next question in 6.3.2. That is number of teachers provided with financial support to attend conferences, workshops, and membership fee. It's a direct question and it's a QNM, that is a quantitative question again, that how many teachers have been paid the amount to attend their workshops. Like that workshop or an FDP is costing around 2,000, 3,000. Then you have to give financial support as well as the OOD here. Now that financial support, how much you have given will come here. Now, how many people per year you have given, that you are entering in the DVV. Below I have mentioned the DVV. Here, year will be given, name of the teacher, name of the conference or workshop attended for which financial support is provided, name of the professional body for which membership is fee paid. Like say there are membership bodies like number of membership bodies in this one. APT, that is APTI in pharmacy, is a membership body which costs around 5,000. If you are paying that 5,000 to become that faculty as a member in that body, that will come here. Either it is a membership or it's a workshops or conferences. So amount, how much you have been supported. Once you fill this details in the data template that you are uploading here, whereas additional document, in the additional document you are going to give the, if it is conference workshop, then it's a certificate of conference and workshop along with a request letter for reimbursing that amount what has been paid, and the college payment slip or an voucher that has to be attached as a supporting document. Now here you can see the benchmark been given for this particular question by NAC recently. They say if you have greater than 50% of your faculty being supported financially, you will get the full marks. If you have 20 faculty, you should send, you have to support more than 10 faculty to reach this particular target and get the full marks here. Coming towards 6.3.3, here professional development and administrative training programs organized for teaching and non-teaching staff. Here, again, you have a data template here. It is quantitative question. Here, the FDP programs organized by your college for the faculty and for non-teaching staff also. And faculty development program here for two things. One is professional development. Professional development is related to academics. Say, related to their own subject, right? And if it is administrative training programs, administrative training programs means it is related to IQAC, related to NAC, or related to any kind of an quality improvement to help in administrative setup. Like you are giving a training for the people to understand IQAC work, documentation work. You are giving a training to your faculty to understand LMS. You are giving a training to your faculty to understand how to prepare the files and keep the files properly at their level. That is administrative training. So both combination you have to do, few towards academics and few towards administrative. For non-teaching staff also, if at all you are giving a training to make them learn Excel, make them learn how to enter the data, make them learn how to uh, how to manage the lab utensils, or how to clean the lab, safety precautions, and ethics, to talk with the people. So these are non-teaching staff kind of an FDP programs where you are doing. Every year you have to do at least the five teaching programs and 2 to 3 non-teaching programs. That is our understanding that that much is minimum required. Here you see this is how the DVV looks like. Dates from and to. This is one of the important factor which we have to understand, that all these programs should be for 5 days, minimum 5 days, or it should be a short term course, more than 5 days, maybe for 1 week, 10 days, 15 days programs will be still good. If not, minimum of 5 days is must. That is what NAC SOP says. If you have done faculty development program for 1 day, it is not acceptable. Moving towards the next, that is face-to-face faculty development program. During the year, professional development program, orientation, induction, all this attended. Like earlier, what we have discussed is we have to organize. And the next question says that how many of your faculty is attending the short-term courses, refresher courses, FDP programs outside or in your organization also. When you have organized, if your faculty is attending the same, then also you can put those things into this. That is, here only certificate is the supporting document. IQAC report summary is one of the document where IQAC has to make a report every time. What is that called as every 6 months or every year, IQAC has to summarize the report, that how many faculties, how many students, what are the activities done. All these things has to be cleared into this. So IQAC summary report, one thing. The reports of the human resources, this if you are collaborated with any governmental agency for these short-term courses and you are having such document, then you can give. Many a times for affiliated colleges, this will not be applicable. Additional information, here in additional information, you can provide the certificates of the faculties who has attended such kind of courses, whereas this is the data template. Here you can see the data template ask about the name of the teacher who is attended, title of the program, and the duration from date from and to. That is minimum of 5 days, and it will be very good if it is more than 5 days. Any faculty attended for 2 days, 1 day will not be considered here. One more thing we have to keep in mind, that one faculty in the same year, if have attended more than one, it will be considered as one only. I mean to say, one faculty in 1 year, one time will be counted. If you have 20 faculty, you should see to it that different faculties have been gone for that. If they have gone for more than one, here it will be counted as one only. You cannot say one person 3 times. If you are entering DVV, count it as one only. That has to be kept in mind, and you have to reach greater than 50% of the faculty attending in 1 year to score full. Now coming towards 6.3.5, performance appraisal system. Here for both the teaching and non-teaching staff, again, whatever your policy of appraisal is there, how you are counting, like how much percentage you are giving for teaching, how you are scoring the appraisal system, that should be mentioned in this particular write-up for 500 words. Say, for example, teaching, you are counting as 30%, results, you are counting as 30%, then feedback, you are counting as 10%, research of that faculty, you are counting as 10%. Like that, you have to split the appraisal system, that if the teacher has done good with the subject, result is very good, but the research is not there, involvement in administrative task is not there, then automatically that marks will come down. It should be an open system, and faculty should know why this increment has happened and on what basis. That clarity should be there here, and that appraisal policy should be in a website. Then you can put here the link of that, and in additional information, sample copies of appraisal forms and the increment letters has to be given here. Coming towards 6.4.1, it is internal and external financial audits. It is only financial audits. Here, there is no academic audit. Financial accounts audit, like internal financial audit and external financial audit. So what is your policy, how you are doing it, and who are the members to do such kind of audits? Here you can, if you are interested, you can put this in website and add here the link. If we'll not give this link, it doesn't matter, but in additional information, you have to give the internal audit reports as well external audit reports, sealed and signed by the concerned CA who is doing these audits, and it is financial audits only. 6.4.2, here the amount which you are receiving from the philanthropists or the individuals, and this amount you are not mentioning in criteria 3, you are receiving this, like say you have sponsorships, what you get now. Rajapalayam College has got the sponsored program from NAC. That amount can come here because that will not go for criteria 3. Likewise, if at all any industries or any people, like in my college, every year there are few industries who will come and provide the checks for the students who are the rank holders on annual day, or they send the amount to the college to give that amount to the rank holders of that year. Like that, if at all you are getting from the non-government bodies or any alumni, individuals, like an example madam was giving in criteria 5, the alumnus has called and they want to pay the fees of one student, individuals. such kind of an amount has to be included here. Again, this is QNM. Here you can see the year, name of the non-government funding agency or individual name, purpose of this grant, why they have given for that, received how much amount in lakhs, then link to audited statement. Here you have to show the audited statement or the receipts of receiving this amount for this purpose. Coming towards the important question here, strategy for mobilization of funds and optimal utilization of the resources. Here, you have to speak about the amount how you are receiving and amount how you are spending. That is, the rupee came and rupee spent. Say, for example, amount you are receiving through tuition fee, amount you are receiving through consultation, amount you are receiving through research funding projects, amount you are receiving through alumnus, amount you are receiving through philanthropers, amount you are receiving through any such kind of things has to be explained clearly from where all you are receiving the amount. The possibilities of getting amount inside the institution, and then you are spending the amount, like say amount will be spent for infrastructure, amount will be spent for maintenance, amount will be spent for student scholarship, amount will be spent for lab materials, amount will be spent for university fees, or with all this, how much you have received. Take one or two examples and say how much you have received and how much has been spent, what is the profitable thing available in your funds now. This clarity you should give in this particular write-up completely. Maybe it is in crores or it is in lakhs, or how you want to give, that is up to you, that how much you are gaining the amount and how much you are giving back to the society or giving back to the stakeholders in a different forms. That is the thing which you have to explain it properly in this particular question. And an additional document, you have to upload your audited statement which will mention those points, what exactly you have mentioned in this particular write-up. Coming towards the 6.5.1, that is IQAC cell, which has to be contributed significantly. Here, the strategies, as I said in the first slides, that what all has to come, right? Those strategies, what was IQAC strategies? How much IQAC has contributed to complete the tasks towards the vision and the vision. If it is a first cycle, it's like you have decided the strategy and what all implementations happened in that 5 years. If it is a second cycle, then what was the report of first cycle of NAC and how strategies been developed on the suggestions made by NAC in the first cycle by IQAC, and how the progress has been happened and what has been achieved in this 5 years of time. That is what will be discussed here clearly, along with the supporting documents like the minutes of IQAC, summary of IQAC, and then if you said that this was your outcome, then the documents of that outcome. Here, then IQAC tab link here from the website, and in additional information, whatever you are explaining here, for that outcome and outcome results proof should be available here. Here, reviews on teaching, learning processes, methodologies, operations, like incremental improvements. Like you had an LMS and things were working good with that LMS. How incremental improvement you have done is, say for example, I'll say here, as we were using one LMS for attendance, for classes, and for giving assignments and sending messages to the parents. After 3 years of time, we thought that this LMS, we can link it to library and make library available on LMS always. So we tried to connect the LMS software with that of the library software. And we have given the password to the students so that they can sit anywhere in the hostel, at home, or in the class. They can check their books. Also, they can request the library person to load few pages of the book in the LMS so that they can study that part there. So this is improvement. I can say that it is the connections what we have incremented the improvement on that particular LMS. One more example I can give here is, like, we were having a good instruments in our college for research purpose. First, our idea was to implement the research center. We have done that. It was working perfectly in 4 years of time. Then we thought of taking consultancy projects where our instruments can be utilized by the colleges who are nearby for their, because those are costly instruments. For pharmacy college I'm talking about, costly instruments which every college cannot afford. So we have circulated the availability of the instruments with us to the nearby colleges and given an opportunity to the research scholars and the master degree students to come and utilize our instruments. So that is again and step by IQAC, who has taken to improve the present thing. So like that, is there anything which you have been implemented? Like, say, another documented recording thing, if I say, earlier we used to do the internal audits yearly twice. Instead, we started doing the audits 3 months once. Now we are doing the audit every month. We have done a kind of an setup in a way that the Excel sheet will be filled by the principals, IQAC principals, and it will be reached to IQAC coordinator every month. We have made such kind of incremental improvements as the days passed on. So such kind of things IQAC has to come up with depending upon the type of things happening in your institution. That has to be elaborately written here in 6.5.2. Now coming towards the question where you are being asked about what was the outcome of your IQAC. Is your IQAC is regularly doing the meetings, and feedback has been collected, analyzed, and used for improvements. Here, the IQAC has to collect the feedback for the teachers, not only on the syllabus. See, one feedback we will collect for the understanding of the syllabus, which will go in criteria 1. Here, IQAC can take the feedback on different aspects of the policies and the procedures to understand that is working or not working. Such feedbacks has to be analyzed, and to revise the policies, this will help actually. So this has to be done by IQAC. The proof of those feedbacks and the proof of the revisions done in the policies. If the revisions not done, then what is the attainment factors? All that has to be proved in this particular meeting. Specifically, I say the risk registers and opportunity registers is one thing which will be a good document after analysis of the feedback by IQAC. Then collaborative quality initiatives with other institutions, like as I said, the initiative we have taken to share our instruments with other colleges, and likewise you can share your faculty to make other college to be profitable with the quality initiatives. So any kind of such exchange programs you have done, and you have done anything, a policy been made that you should have a connect with other institutions, and you should improve the other institution also. Then the next thing is participation in NIRF. They are not asking the NIRF ranking. They are asking, have you registered and are you participating this? Then yes or no, you have to say. And apart from that, any other things you are been having, like ISO certification and NBA. This is a question which can easily be scored if you just put your little mind and do all these things properly. Here, paste the link of the website for annual reports. As madam also was mentioning, this plays a very, very important role, your annual reports, which should contain all the things which is happening. Then e-copies of the accreditations, that is ISO or NBA, any additional information, and the data template. Data template looks like this. Like conferences, what are the IQAC cell done? IQAC can conduct the seminars, workshops on quality, like administrative training, what I was talking about in the previous slide, that you are going to add here, that how many IQAC, like present thing which is going on, this is one of the thing which can be added here. Then administrative, academic and administrative audits. Here, the audit of AAA, which IQAC has to take care and follow up the actions, that will come here. NIRF participation, ISO certification, NBA certification, collaborative quality initiatives. Here, the MOUs and exchange activities, then orientation programs on quality initiatives or quality organized in the institution. So all these things you are going to add with the date to prove this particular question. This completes your criteria 6. All is in our hands. Yeah. Only I suggest that an institution should have a proper strategic plan, a proper perspective plan, all these plans should match with vision and mission, and complete procedures for the policies, and all should be in action. It is not just on a paper, it should be in action. Then you can score fully in this criteria. Now I'm open for your questions or suggestions or doubts or explanations, whatever your comments. Thank you for me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good evening. This is Dr. Rajni Priya.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, ma'am. It was excellent and totally eye-opening also, illuminating us in many areas. First thing that I would like to ask you is, can we add this increasing the placement, placement of the students? Can we add that into the strategic plan?
Yes.
Okay,
You
how to
can.
increase the placement part
How
of
to
it?
not how to increase, you have to add in your strategic plan saying that
How we can improve it.
this in this 3 years of time we try to reach, not try to reach, will reach the 90% of the placement. Or you are starting with, then you can start with 30%, then 70%, then 80%. Like I started like that.
Okay, so we can include that placement part of it in strategic plan also.
Yes, exactly. You
Okay, thank
can.
you, ma'am. And the second question is, what about the free meal scheme and other things provided for the students? Can that
Yeah,
be
that
included in the
can be an welfare for the student.
welfare measure for the students in 6.3.1 or any
Ah,
other? Okay, okay,
yes, yes.
okay.
But the
And
question is very specific for faculty.
that's what. And where to include this part, ma'am? Then, if it is meant for the students.
Students part you can include somewhere in your policies, or in best practice you can utilize
That
that.
will come in seventh. Okay,
Yes,
seventh criterion.
because
Okay.
you are satisfying a main stakeholder by giving food to them. So
Yeah.
you can include that as a best practice. Take it to criteria 7.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. And this utilizing or outsourcing the infrastructure of the college, especially playgrounds and for the external sources, for external college or school activities, can that be shown here in
Exactly.
6.5.2?
Yes, yes, you can show aram se.
Okay. And the final question. Sorry for boggling you with so many questions, ma'am.
No issue at all.
Can we include this academic programs conducted in college by individual departments in 6.5.3? IQAC conducted programs only you have specified. 6.5.3.
Ah.
What about the academic
Individual
programs?
department also, if they are conducting in connecting with IQAC, because IQAC for whole college,
Yes,
under
ma'am.
that departments will come. If
Okay.
individual department is doing it and it has been included in the minutes of meeting of IQAC, then that can be considered.
Okay. Only if it is connected with IQAC or
Yeah.
organized along with IQAC.
Organize along with IQAC, or at least discuss that in IQAC meetings.
Oh, fine. Okay, ma'am. Okay. And what about the this? Can we include this faculty who go as guest lectures or for some other programs to other institutions for a day? Can that be called as a collaborative
Yes,
initiative?
yes, yes, exactly.
Okay.
That is what I was telling, like how you
Collaborative
are
initiative.
connecting to other colleges.
So whoever faculty who is
As
going
a
as a
resource
resource
people.
person, okay, they
Yes,
that can be shown here.
yes, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Thank you so much for answering everything patiently for me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pleasure.
It's a matter of great pride that a person like you, full of energy and charisma, had spared time for us. Thank you, ma'am, for your excellent session.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Be thankful for what you have. You will end up having more. Now I would call upon Mrs. Sumitra, Assistant Professor of Commerce with Computer Application, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of IQAC of our college, I would like to thank Dr. S. Badrunisha ma'am for excellent address in the 6th session of the 2 days national workshop organized by IQAC of Rajapalayam Rajus College. You have always been a generous with your time whenever we approached you for making these 2 days workshop a successful, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I would be failing in my duty if I did not thank our college management, the principal of our college, the coordinators of IQSC, and also the criterion heads who has selected these special invites. I also thank all the professors who participated from various colleges, and I also express my gratitude to the technical assistants. Once again, I would like to say thank you to all those who have given me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you all. And good evening, Gauri ma'am. Nice to see you
Good
after
evening,
long,
madam.
long,
Yes.
long time.
I was just waiting for you to her to finish. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
it is going very good, I suppose, this session.
Yes, yes, yes. It's going very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha madam. We shall have the other
Thank you,
session
ma'am.
now. We
Yes.
welcome Madam Gauri Devastale for this last session on criteria 7, and I will give the mic to the moderator of criteria 7.
A very good afternoon to one and all attending this workshop offline as well as online. I'm here to host the last session, the 7th session of the SNAC sponsored 2-day national workshop on innovative practices for data documentation of AQAR and SSR under revised assessment and accreditation framework. And the topic for this session is criteria 7, institutional values and best practices. And I think it gives really immense pleasure to all of us here because our college is have entered the 50th year, the Golden Jubilee year, this academic year, and we are so privileged that with the help of NAC, we could disseminate the contents shared by such eminent and experienced personalities. And I think we can't believe that we have come to the last session, and the complete 2 days was knowledge overloaded. I could say that, and I hope that we would be able to, successfully make the information travel like seed sown by a farmer. So I request Mr. N. Ramesh Kumar sir from the Department of Chemistry, who is the head of Criterion 7, to welcome the gathering.
Good evening to all. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all for the final technical session, the most important and vital part of the criterion, institutional values and best practices. In this great occasion, I am very happy and proud to welcome our eminent resource person, Dr. Gauri Devastale, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Abida Inamtar Senior College, Pune, Maharashtra, an associate committee member, IQAC Cluster, India. Welcome, ma'am. I extend my heartiest welcome to faculty participants from all over India and research scholars, even students. And I welcome IQAC coordinator, Dr. P.R. Suganya, and assistant IQAC coordinator, Mr. R.V. Vishnu Sangar, and IQAC members for this last session. And I welcome our principal, Dr. D. Venkateswaran, and the faculty members of our college for this session. Thank you. I request Dr. Manjula Gayatri to introduce our eminent resource person.
It's my privilege that I'm introducing a chief guest for this session, Mrs. Gauri Devastale ma'am. She's Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Abeda Inamdar Senior College, Pune, and also Associate Committee Member, IQAC Cluster, India. She's a hardcore teacher with 27 years of experience, currently working as Assistant Professor at the Department of Microbiology. And she was awarded Best Teacher Award by the Institute for the year 2013-14, and Ideal Teacher Award by the Muslim Welfare Education Society, Pune, in the academic year 17-18. She has significant contribution in the curriculum designing and restructuring of syllabus at the undergraduate courses. She has also organized of co and extracurricular activities for students like guest lectures, quiz competitions, academic visits, study tours, science exhibition, poster and essay competitions, group discussions, seminars. She is actively involved in various committees like Timetable Committee, Vidyarthini Manch, Anti-Ragging Cell, Discipline Committee, Tours and Excursion Committee, etc. In the Extension Department, she has worked as NSS Program Officer of the college for NSS funded by central government for 4 years. She was approved as Student Welfare Officer of the college. Presently, she is working as IQAC Coordinator of the college. And she has also organized blood donation camps. She visited daycare centers for physically and mentally retarded children, tree plantation drives. So much so far. She has been actively involved in so many NGO programs as well. So in the Department of Research, in the field of research, she has completed 2 minor research projects funded by BCUD, completed 2 research projects with MSc students funded by Institute. She also guided postgraduate and undergraduate students for seminars, research projects, review writing, and poster presentations. For publications, she has published 5 research papers, and oral and poster presentations are 9. She was appointed as NAC coordinator of the college for the process of re-accreditation in 2012-13 and 17-18. She has been invited a resource person for faculty development programs for IQAC coordinators at Savitri Phule Pune University, Savitri Bai Phule Pune University, Mumbai University, and Sholapur University. She also acted as resource person for more than 25 sessions at various national webinars and events organized by IQAC Cluster. And due to the time constraint, maybe I need to shout out her profile. It's a very long thing, and she has been very active in the IQAC related documentation and assistance for NAC. Thank you so much for being part of this session, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I hand over the session to you.
Thank you, madam, for your kind words of introduction. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I wish to thank the organizers, the host college, and the management of the institute for inviting me here to talk about criteria 7. So, without wasting much time, should we start? Can I share my screen?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about institutional values, best practices. SSR and AQAR are the same, so we are not going to discuss it separately. The only thing is that the answer writing is slightly different in AQAR and SSR. In SSR, we have long answers of 500 words or 1000 words, whereas in AQAR, it is restricted to 200 words. So there are 3 key indicators in criteria 7: institutional values and social responsibilities, which forms a major part of the criteria 7. It has a weightage of 50 marks, 7.2 best practices, and 7.3 institutional distinctiveness. Now, if we see the focus areas of criteria 7, there is a little difference in criteria 7 and the other criteria. Like, for example, in criteria 1, focus is only on curriculum. Criteria 2, teaching, learning, and evaluation. Criteria 3, only research and extension. Criteria 4 is about infrastructure, 5 about student progression, 6 about governance. But if you look at 7, it's a mixture of many things. It is a mixture of, like environmental awareness, gender equity, facilities for disabled, green initiatives, human values, professional ethics, best practices. So whatever probably NAC wanted to include in their assessment and could not put up in any of the earlier criterias, they have tried to put up in 7. But of course, everything is related to the other because everything finally comes to institutional values. So these are some of the focus areas of criteria 7, where we need to focus on environmental consciousness, differently abled or specially abled students and faculty, then human values and professional ethics, gender equity, green practices, inclusion and situatedness, best practices, and institutional distinctiveness. So these are the focus areas. Now, coming to 7.1, that is the first key matrix. There are small, it is broken down into 11 small questions, you can say, or matrices, where we need to answer different aspects about the institution. So, the first is 7.1.1, where measures initiated by the institution for the promotion of gender equity during last 5 years. So, here again, we have to understand that if we are writing for SSR, it is about last 5 years. If you are writing for AQAR, it is only for the last academic year for which you are uploading the AQAR. And here we need to describe the gender equity and sensitization curricular and co-curricular plans that the institution has taken up. Depending on the AQR or SSR, it would be in 500 words or 200 words. We also need to have an annual gender sensitization plan, action plan. Just like we have our academic calendar every year, for every year, we should also have an annual gender sensitization plan for every year. So when you plan the activities for your curricular and extracurricular, just we have to make it a point that few activities should be focusing on the gender sensitization. And then, of course, special facilities that are provided on the campus for women. It may be students or it may be staff. So first we need to understand what is a equity, gender equity, or this equity and equality are slightly different. You can see here, I have tried to put up the difference between equity and equality. So when you are giving the same opportunity to all, it is equality. But when we are giving the opportunities as per the requirement of the individual, it is said to be equity. So it is a process of being fair to both women and men. So normally when we talk about gender sensitization plans, it is understood, or rather it is misunderstood, that it is only for girls or it is only for women. But it is not like that. When we are talking about gender sensitization, it is equally important for men and women, and both girls and boys should be included or should be present for the gender sensitization programs. The boys also should be made aware about the issues related to women, and in the same way, the girls or the female students should also be made aware about the issues related to the male gender. So that is the gender equity or equality. Now, when we talk about how we are going to attain gender equity, it can be done in 2 to 3 ways. One is conducting the awareness programs, workshops. Second is by providing proper physical facilities, and third is the support to the boys as well as the girls. So it may be form of solving subjects like sociology or political science or some other psychology. There are proper topics included in the syllabus which are related to gender sensitization. So that is how the curriculum is going to play its role in the gender sensitization. But in other subjects, especially subjects related to science or commerce, where such topics are not included in the curriculum, we can have the co-curricular activities like group discussions, screening of documentaries, talks by expert people, paper presentations, gender roles, street plays, etc. And we can also have extracurricular activities, or we can have autonomous courses, certificate courses on gender order, sexualities, and what are the latest social affairs or social status of gender sensitization programs, etc. So these can be divided into 3: curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular. And whenever we are having any program related to co-curricular or extracurricular, we should have the proper documentation for that. So what is the documentation we are going to see here also. Okay, so another point that I was going to talk about is the physical facilities. So safety and security, common rooms for both boys and girls. Then for women, specially sanitary napkin vending machines. If there are women staff or more of the cleanliness staff, housekeeping staff, more women in the institution where the small children have to be taken care of. So daycare center facilities. All these are the special physical facilities. So CCTV cameras at strategic points. You can see here that is a sanitary pad vending machine. Such facilities need to be installed in the girls' common room or the staff rooms. So other or support facilities include the Vidyarthini Manch, where the girls have a free access platform to discuss their problems, put forth their questions, and the issues are resolved maybe by the students themselves, by senior students, by some of the alumni, some of the teachers can get involved as and when required. So that is known as a Vidyarthini Manch. Then an anti-sexual harassment cell and a counseling cell. These are the support facilities. Again, counseling cell will be for girls and boys, both of them, because every gender has its own problems to be addressed. So this was about 7.1, gender equity. Now from 7.2 to 7.11, there are small questions which are related to environmental consciousness and sustainability. So you can see here I have put up the major aspects which are addressed, which need to be addressed here. So alternative energy sources like biogas plant, sanitary bins, then waste management, solar energy, reuse, recycle, say no to plastic, rainwater harvesting, manure, composting, vermicomposting, e-waste management, water conservation, pollution control. All these are the different aspects which I have summarized in one slide, which can take us towards environmental consciousness and sustainability. So let us see what is a green campus. Are we all moving towards a green campus? So when we talk about green campus, there are 7 to 8 aspects that we need to look upon. One is the vegetation and biodiversity enhancement. Second is the energy management. Third is the carbon footprint reduction. Fourth is the water management. Fifth is pollution control. Sixth is waste management. Seventh is visual, thermal, and acoustics comfort. And last one is the indoor environmental quality. So all these are the actually questions raised by NAC in the following matrices, and we are going to answer them one by one. So is your campus going green? How to identify whether your campus is moving towards a green campus or no? So does it follow architectural norms of infrastructure? Are solar panels installed? Are there fire audit reports, green energy audit reports? Is there carbon sequestration or carbon footprint report? Is there vermicomposting or borewell recharge pits? Is there tagging of flora, fauna, botanical gardens, cactus gardens? Is the expenditure on green practices increased? Now, this will come into picture when you're writing an SSR. When you're writing your self-study report for 5 years, suppose you have expenditure on green practices in the previous year is say around 1 lakh. In the next year, it should increase at least to 1,10,000, 1,15,000. Next to next year, it should increase to 1,20,000, 25,000. So you can prove that you are moving towards a green campus because you are investing more on green practices, green initiatives, you're spending more for the environment sustainability. So the expenditure on green campus also has to be what you can say monitored, and you should see to it that there is a slight increase in that every year. So do you have MOUs for recycling of e-waste, waste, solid waste, green army certificates? Any of your students are having green army certificates, effluent treatment plants? So all these are the green campus points, I mean, which will help you to know or assess yourself if you are moving towards a green campus. So here you can see the architectural norms. What I mean by architectural norms, the well-lit classrooms. So automatically we are going to save on power, electricity. You don't need AC if the rooms are well ventilated. The height of the rooms are enough for the ventilation. Then albedo paints, which absorb minimum heat, reflect maximum light. Okay, air gaps in between the classrooms or in between the, what you can say, ventilators in between your roofs. Then we also have a insulated roofs. Then the greenery on the walls, green walls is now a very important concept that is coming up, vertical gardens, because that will keep the offices cool, especially the office building, the principal's building, the director's bungalow, all such a, what you can say, structures can have green walls, and you can have vertical gardens, and all this will lead to a nearly zero energy building, because you don't need lights, you don't need ACs, you don't need fans, because of the ventilation, because of the air gaps. There is also power saving, and therefore it is a nearly zero energy building. So if we follow some of the architectural norms like the heights, the ventilation, the spacing between two buildings, the paint which is used in the building, all this will help us to go to the green environment or green campus. Then 7.1.2 is the alternative energy sources. So here NAC has given us 5 options: solar energy, biogas plant, willing to grid, sensor-based energy conservation, and use of LED or power efficient bulbs or equipment. So here we have to choose the suitable option, whether you have 1, 2, 3, or all of the above, and you can choose your option accordingly. Now, for the documentation, we need geotagged photographs. So, if you have a solar panel, you need geotagged photographs of solar panel, bore well, or whatever that you are claiming. First and foremost, we have to remember that you need geotagged photographs or videos to be uploaded on the website. Then relevant information like communication letters, bills, if you have written to the MSCB, if there is a decrease in your electricity bill, or if you have been saving on power, all the documents that last year the electricity bills was X amount, this year it is reduced, the consumption of units is reduced. So all relevant documents which will show energy conservation also have to be updated in the files. And one important suggestion here, or the SOP given by NAC, is that we cannot have a generator as a backup. So please don't mention that we have generators as backup, because generators will run on diesel, and again that will lead to pollution. So instead of going green, we are creating pollution here. So we cannot include generator backup in this matrices. Then coming to 7.1.3, that is waste management. Describe the facilities in the institution for the management of following types of waste. So solid waste management, liquid waste management, biomedical waste management, e-waste management, water recycling systems, and hazardous chemicals or radioactive. Now this would be especially in colleges where there is a chemistry laboratory, or where research on radioactive elements is going on, or some atomic energy laboratories like Department of Atomic Energy, especially and Trombe, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, or BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center. All these places, they have to take care of the radioactive waste management. But maybe in the arts, commerce, science colleges, the radioactive waste does not come into picture. But solid waste management, liquid waste management, biomedical waste management, e-waste management, and waste recycling systems have to be in place. So we have to describe how we manage all these at the institutional level. And of course, for that, again, we need supporting documents like photographs. Photographs have to be geotag photographs. You have a policy for disposal of waste. So the policy have to be uploaded on your website. A link to the policy can be given in the answer. You have some MOUs with local bodies or government, like for example biomedical waste we cannot discard anywhere, or you just cannot dump it into any place. So there are proper the local bodies like the municipal corporations or the cantonment boards. They have their own system. Their vehicles will come to the college or the institute on particular days. They will collect the biomedical waste and it would be disposed of through proper channel. So such type of protocols or systems, if they are in place, they have to be mentioned. If there is a tie-up with a government or a non-government body, that also has to be mentioned for the waste management. So of course you need to have everything on the website the agreements, the MOUs, the geotagged photographs. So here you can see the composting pits where the garden waste is collected. It is converted into the compost, and this compost is used as fertilizers in the campus itself. So it is recycling. The waste is coming back to the garden as a compost or a fertilizer. So such type of facilities can be created, and they have to be uploaded on the website. Here you can also see some more waste management facilities where there is a different color bin. So segregation of biodegradable and non-degradable waste, then plastic collection and recycling for landfilling, then zero waste. We are trying to go to a zero waste campus. So organic waste cycling, recyclables are reused, and wet waste, dry waste, they are also segregated. And not only they are segregated, they are disposed through proper channels and protocols. So this was about waste, solid and liquid. Now coming to water conservation. So water conservation facilities are available in the institution: rainwater harvesting, borewell or open well recharge, tanks and bunds. Now this is again, bunds will be especially for the colleges which are slightly in the rural areas or on the hilly areas where water bunds have to be built to hold on to the water that is causing erosion. Wastewater recycling, effluent treatment plants, and maintenance of college water bodies and distribution system. So there may be overhead tanks, there may be underground tanks. The college has storage tanks. The college has water filters, water coolers for drinking in hostel or on the campus. How these water bodies are maintained, how the water is distributed in the campus, everything has to be written in this answer. So there are 5 points. You have to select our option, correct option, whether it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and whatever we select, we have to give the explanation for that along with the supporting document. So again, geotagged photographs or videos of the facilities, any other relevant information. So if there is a borewell charging, then when the borewell was dug, how much feet deep it was, how much amount of water was collected or used from the borewell. Then if there are any policies of the college regarding water conservation, any timetable for distribution of water to different laboratories or hostels or staff quarters, all this has to be in the documentation. Okay. Then here you can see the rainwater harvesting systems that have been set up in different institutions. So from the terrace, the rainwater is being collected through pipes and it is collected in a tank. And then here you can see that, here you can see that the same water is used for watering the plants or for gardening, especially in the summer season where when there is scarcity of water. So in this way, water recycling, water harvesting plays a very important role, and that has to be mentioned here. Then coming to green campus initiatives, we have already seen what are the green campus initiatives, including architectural norms, till the different points which can be taken up even by the students. So the important initiatives taken up by the college are mentioned by NAC. One is the restricted use of automobiles. Second is motivation or encouragement for battery powered vehicles, pedestrian friendly pathways, ban on use of plastics, landscaping. If we have anything at these five, if you have, we have to tick, or you have to say 4, 3, 2, 1. But if there is anything else other than this, that also can be included in the answer where we have to write. Okay. So geotagged photographs, videos of facilities, any other relevant documents, reports and photos of events organized. If there are any events organized for if there is a no vehicle day, like every third Saturday of the month, the college or the institute follows a no vehicle day. Everyone will come by the public transport or by walking or on bicycle. So if such event is organized, then the photographs of such events or the reports of such events should also be kept here as a documentation. Okay. Now, how the students can go green, or the tips to help students to go green. So first is rent, borrow or share bikes. Generally, we can see that every student is coming on his or her own motorbike or car or vehicle. So here we can encourage students to share the bikes or carpools, use of reusable water bottles. We can use these water bottles for drip irrigation. We have been doing it in Pune. Unplug, that is curtail energy usage. Watch the water usage. If there are tap leaking taps, or if sometimes the students are, they keep the taps open and they just walk out, so putting up of flex boards or putting up of signages about the water usage, water policy, water conservation, slogans, logos, that will also help. Use of LED bulbs at the desks, reuse, recycle, and compost of biodegradable waste, purchasing of second-hand goods. So students can be encouraged to purchase second-hand textbooks or reference books, walking as much as possible, setting up of recycling stations around the campus where students can donate their books, pens, stationery, whatever they don't need, they have purchased but they want to donate, others can use it. Planning of e-waste recycling drives, plastic collection drives, paper recycling drives, all these. Then bike rental programs, hosting of sustainability summits by students, having eco clubs, visits to eco clubs or eco-friendly niches, organizing donation programs, starting a campus community garden where students are encouraged to make create a garden in or around the campus. Literally, we provide them space. They will bring their own plants, they will do the gardening, they will plant the trees, they will water them, they will nurture the trees. So automatically this sense of environmental eco-friendliness is developed. And of course, to adopt long-term campus sustainability goals, for this we need to have a very good environmental policy. Just like we have a strategic plan, perspective plan, we should have long-term plans for going green. So some of the measures that can be undertaken is to access energy and carbon footprints from energy consumption, native tree plantation, annual tree plantation programs, indoor and outdoor green walls, which I have already shown, terrace and vertical gardens that also have already shown in my photographs, and alternative modes of transportation like battery operated vehicles, walking, carpools, sharing bikes, etc. We can also train the teaching staff on water and waste and energy management, educating new and existing students again for waste management, monitoring and reporting energy consumption to staff and students. This will obviously make them aware of what is the energy or the electricity that the college is using and how we can save on that. Incentives or research awards and award programs for those who take up green initiatives, and training eco champions or creating eco clubs, garden clubs, etc., which will help the students also to become eco-friendly and will help the campus to go green. So some of the campus initiatives like operating battery powered vehicles, providing chargers for battery powered vehicles, training to housekeeping staff for segregation of waste, biodegradable waste, separation of biodegradable waste and non biodegradable waste. Then use of stainless steel plates, especially in canteens and food joints in and around the campus, so that there is no thermocol or no plastic that comes into the waste. These plates are washed and reused. So such type of small initiatives can also be taken up to move towards a green campus. So landscaping with trees and plants, then here you can see that beyond this point there is no vehicles are not allowed. We have to only walk down. So walking is encouraged and the vehicles are kept only beyond a particular point. Then putting up of such signages, boards, flex, so that the students are made more aware of eco-friendly concepts. Landscaping with trees, here greenhouses, eco restoration areas. So here you can see that especially in the metro cities, the number of birds are reducing. So the students have put up the artificial nests, and here they are keeping water and food grains for the birds. So the birds will come back. So that is restoration of the ecosystem for the birds or for the natural habitants of the ecosystem. So such type of projects, they are known as eco restoration areas. So all these are green campus initiatives. Although these are not mentioned by NAC, we can undertake these initiatives for going green. organic waste converter machine. So if the campus is very large and lot of organic waste, garden waste, organic waste is generated, then it takes a long time for the waste to get degraded. And so if there is some machine, the first step is to put it in a machine which facilitates or speeds up the conversion of the organic waste into compost. So you can invest in such type of machines. Paper recycling, plastic recycling, all these are the green initiatives that can be taken up by the college. Then coming to 7.1.6 quality audits. So green audit, energy audit, environmental audit, they're more or less similar, but with slight differences. Clean and green campus recognition awards and beyond the campus environmental promotion activities. So what are these activities and which we are going to do, that also I'm going to discuss, or we will discuss here. So whether your college has gone for green audit, energy audit, environmental audit, whether you have any clean green campus recognitions or awards, all these things have to be put up in 7.1.6. So of course documentation, the audit reports, the certificates of the agent certificates by the awarding agencies, everything is to be kept as a documentation. So what is basically an environmental or green audit? There are different steps when you go for a green audit. Basic college information has to be provided to the auditor. The auditor will come and do the building survey, the total campus area, ground area, green area, etc. The focus areas: solid waste, recycling, electricity, natural gas use, all these are the focus areas. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can, ma'am. We are hearing you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So the focus areas are water management, campus ground management, air emissions, food services. All these are the focus areas when we go for an environmental or green audit. So before we go for green audit, we ourselves have to assess these areas of the institution. Then the auditor will come and assess the parameters. What are the parameters assessed here? Are again the renewable energy sources, e-waste management, electricity and gas usage, water and wastewater management, air quality, food quality, training of students, eco-friendly initiatives, etc. So basically, green audit is a process of systematic identification, quantification, recording, reporting, and analysis of components of environmental diversity. Okay, and green audit not only for NAC to get the grade, but it also creates health consciousness. It also promotes environmental awareness and values and ethics. Somebody's mic is on, I think. So that is why it is related to criteria 7, because here we are inculcating values and ethics related to environment. Okay. So what are the stages of the green audit? There are 4 stages: pre-auditing stage, audit stage, post-audit stage, and certification. So when you go for a green audit, see to it that the auditor is going to conduct the audit in the 4 stages, and all 4 stages should be covered. So in pre-audit stage, first the college has to establish environmental management system. The college has to declare environmental policy, plan of programs of activities, implement programs, whatever they have planned, and operations and environment management should be done in and around the campus also. Not only my campus is good, clean, green, and around the campus it's all dirty. No, it has to be in and around the campus. Then the second stage is actual auditing, where the auditor will come, check the documents, your programs, your reports, your environmental policies. Everything is critically analyzed. They will give the suggestions. They will review your policies. They will review your activities. They will interview the stakeholders. It may be parents, it may be staff, it may be students. And based on all this, they will give their recommendations. That is a post-audit stage. They will give recommendations. They will suggest plan of action. And they will see to it that whatever recommendations are given, the changes have been implemented. And then they will give a certificate. Okay. So they will report with recommendations, and they will follow up also the recommendations, and then a certification is done, and this certification is generally valid for normally 3 years. So these are the four main steps of the green audit. Now this is the working beyond the college. So everyone is working for our own college, for our own campus, but what are you doing beyond? Like I said, for the educational institutions around our school or college. So they are taking training sections in schools, training sessions for the staff of the adjacent schools and colleges, creating awareness about waste segregation. We are giving the lectures to in the schools about the environment, pollution, control of pollution, etc. So this also has marks in the NAC, SSR and AQAR both. And of course the documentation for all this, so reports on environmental and energy audits, certification by the auditing agencies, if there are any awards or recognition, then those certificates, then any other relevant information that we feel that it is important for to prove our point, that also should be included here. Like for example, here I have a certificate of appreciation for my college, where we have collected and recycled 180 kg lot of plastic, which is equivalent to 180 kgs of carbon dioxide emission. We have reduced 180 kg of carbon dioxide emission. 180 kg is a big number for environmental policy. So such type of documentation is also required. You have to keep all the certificates and documents. Then coming to 7.1.7, disabled friendly environment. So what are we doing for the specially abled students or the staff or our stakeholders? So are there any ramps or lifts? Are there any special access to classroom? Is there college having disabled friendly washrooms, signages, lights, displays, signposts, any technological or software facilities for the differently abled students, mechanized equipments, or human assistants, scribes, etc. So all these things we have to take into consideration when you will write this answer. So whatever are the facilities available, again, geotagged photos, videos, policy documents, if there is an admission policy for the differently able students, if there is a policy for their examination, for assessing them, there are softwares that have been procured for providing assistance, or any other relevant information. So here you can see that there are scribes for examination, braille software for the visually impaired students, then helpline for differently abled students, where the staff and the volunteers are available. There is counseling for differently able students. There is a ramp, a walker, a wheelchair for students who may not be permanently disabled, but some students meet with accidents, they have fractures, and they cannot sit back home for 3 months, 6 months. So such type, and here you can see this is a geotagged photograph. It shows the latitude, longitude, the date, the time. So this facility is currently available. That is what it is showing in the photograph. So such type of geotagged photographs, videos are very important as a documentation. 7.1.8 is inclusion and situatedness. So how does the college accommodate all types of students and staff which approach it itself? Okay, so the cultural diversities, the regional diversities, linguistic diversity, socio-economic different students from different socio-economic strata, they will take admission. And how do we support all these type of staff and student? What are the policies of the institution for appointing staff? What are the policies of the institution for appointing students, especially from other states, other countries, economically backward class, and so many other such, any other policies. So administrative includes all policies. Academic activities which reflect inclusion or situatedness is what do we do, or how do we create harmony among the diverse group of students and staff, and what are the activities taken up which increase tolerance of students towards each other. So here you can see some of the activities that can be taken up. This is one just signage that we has been put up. I am a part and I am a part, where inclusion of all types of students has been done here. Increased diversity, colleagues, race equity, minority groups are given equal opportunities, equal opportunity at university level, no discrimination based on caste and creed, racial equality, equal educational opportunities to all the students coming from different countries, state, socioeconomic status. So all these has to be included in the policy, as well as we can have different programs where the students from the different background come together, live with each other in harmony, and these programs have to be included in this answer. So how we actually student profile, staff profile, everything has to be updated and everything has to be mentioned in this answer. Then coming to 7.1.9, human values and professional ethics. So sensitization of students and employees of the institution to constitutional obligations, values, rights, duties, and responsibilities of citizens. So what are the activities taken up? We have Human Rights Day. We have, of course, Republic Day, Independence Day. Now in Maharashtra, we celebrate 1st May as Maharashtra Day. So all these are the constitutional what you can say programs that are taken up. Then we have National Voters Day, so we create awareness about voting. Then there are so many days, such days, Unity Day, which then Vachan Prerna Divas. So all these are the days that are taken up, can be taken up by the college or by the institute, which can inculcate values of social, social values, responsibility, equality, and also what are our rights, what are our duties. All this can be talked about to the students. So all programs which inculcate values, their reports, their photographs, those all have to be kept here as a documentation. So different values which can be inculcated among students through various programs are mentioned here. Then sensitization to constitutional obligations, then human values, professional ethics, certificate courses, short-term courses, programs for students, workshops can also be organized, where we can inculcate values like professional ethics, human values among the students. Then 7.1.0, does the 7.1.10, does the institute have a prescribed code of conduct? Yes. The code of conduct is displayed on the website, that also has marks. Whether there is a committee to adhere to the code of conduct, yes or no. If there is a committee, does it have meetings? And what action is taken if the code of conduct is not followed? What are the professional ethic programs organized for the students, teachers, and staff? Are there any induction programs, orientation programs? Are there any annual awareness programs? All these have to be mentioned in this question, in this answer, and we have to give the supporting documents. So first of all, the college should have a prescribed code of conduct or a policy document for all, for teaching staff, administrative staff, for current students as well as alumni, for stakeholders like parents, employers, suppliers. All these, there should be a proper prescribed code of conduct, a policy which will be giving directions, very clear directions about their profile and their rules and regulations. And this can be, the code of conduct can be framed based on the UGC guidelines, based on the state university guidelines, based on the state government guidelines for the staff as well as the students. A committee should be constituted for framing the code of conduct. The code of conduct should be displayed on the website. It should be communicated to the stakeholders through various programs like orientation programs, induction programs, awareness programs. And if there is too much of deviation from this code of conduct, then of course disciplinary action also needs to be taken. And there should be timely revision of the code of conduct depending on the changes which are made by the government or the affiliating university or by the parent society. The code of conduct should be revised. Now, what are the documentation here? The ethics policy document, the constitution of the committee, the minutes of the meetings of the committee, the names of the members who are part of this committee, programs organized, induction awareness programs, orientation programs, reports of various programs, and any other relevant information should be kept as a documentation. I think this is the last question from 7.1.11, that is 7.1.11, celebrating national and international days. Does the institute celebrate or organize national, international commemorative days, events, festivals? And so all the reports of such celebrations, events, again, geotagged photographs and other relevant information. So the college can observe birth or death anniversaries of great Indian personalities, freedom fighters, Constitution Day, Human Rights Day, and like I said, so many other days, Independence Day, Republic Day. This is an effort to inculcate the values like patriotism, nationalism among the students. So reports and photos of the days that are organized. Here you can see some of the photos of the events that are organized by different colleges, which can be claimed in the 7.1.11. Now coming to 7.2, that is best practices. So the best practice should be exemplary and unique. It should serve as a benchmark for other higher institutions. It should also help the institution to achieve its objectives, and it should be followed in the following years also. Once you take it up as a best practice, it is not only for 1 year, it should be done in the following years also. There is a format for the presentation of best practices. It is very well mentioned in the SSR as well as AQAR. It is also available on the NAC website. These are the 7 points in how to write the best practice. There is also word limit for every point of the best practice that has to be written. So some of the few best practices I have mentioned here: use of ICT, green campus initiatives, disposal of waste in life science departments, reforms in examination, women empowerment programs, social awareness programs, entrepreneurship among students, rural outreach programs, enhancing placement, conducting various audits. All these can be the best practices. So again, best practice we can look at it in 4 aspects. First is identification of a best practice, then sustainability. It should be easy to adapt and follow in the coming years. The problems that can be encountered in the best practice should also be identified. Then the best practice should be effectively taken up by the departments or the subsystems. That is very crucial. The outcomes of the best practice have to be clearly defined, and then it has to be adapted by the entire institute. That is known as the institutionalization of the best practice. So just one department is doing some activity, we cannot put it up as a best practice. It has to be institutionalized. It has to be first assessed, and then only it can be adopted as a best practice. Then the last matrix, that is 7.3, institutional distinctiveness. This is the largest, or rather you can say the biggest answer that has to be written in the SSR. We have 1,000 words to write the institutional distinctiveness. The answer should include the details of the performance of the institution in any one distinctive area. The institution should identify and define its distinctiveness clearly. The outcome of the distinctiveness should be visible, it should be evident, and we should have documents supporting our distinctiveness. So the institutional distinctiveness may be associated with one or more criteria. It may be linked with the best practice. The outcome of, or the continuous efforts in any one particular or thrust area should be seen, and that only can be taken up as an institutional distinctiveness. So few of the examples I have given here, that is skill enhancing certificate courses, technology in teaching learning, industry connect, smart campus, vocational training, women empowerment, green practices, special recognitions. All these can be taken up as a institutional distinctiveness. Now, when we are preparing for criteria 7, especially SSR I'm talking about now, there are 5 answers of 500 words each, 1 answer of 1,000 words. There are no data templates. The details of the best practice and institutional distinctiveness need to be fixed before you start uploading the criteria. There have to be a lot of brainstorming sessions to finalize on these two. Reports and geotag photographs of all the events, web links, all these have to be kept ready. Agreements, MOUs, tie-ups, linkages with government, non-government recognized institutions, for especially for waste management, they also have to be ready. In the do's, of course, we have to have geotagged photographs, bills of purchase of equipment. For example, solar panels. If you have purchased solar panels, if you have purchased LED bulbs, all these purchases. Then the Green Campus policy document and measures taken for the Green Campus, circulars, notices issued to the students, staff for implementation of Green Campus or policies, policy document on environment and energy, code of ethics, all these have to be ready for criteria 7. Okay. Then certificates and awards received from other agencies, a report on environmental promotion activities, handbooks, manuals for human values, professional ethics, reports on the student attributes facilitated by the institution, reports for special students' achievements. All these also have to be kept ready for criteria 7. Where then here you can have just some photographs of how the nature or the earth sciences and sustainability of environment has been practiced in some of the institutions. Of course, all these are from Pune because I am from Pune. Recently, NAC has come up with some benchmarks for criteria 7. So I would like to just discuss the benchmarks, especially for the usage of alternate energy sources, water conservation, green campus initiatives. Everywhere they have given you option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have all of the above, 3 of the above, 2 of the above, more than 2 of the above, none of the above. So for all of the above, there will be 4 marks. For 4 and more will be 3 marks. For 2 or more will be 2 marks. For 1 option, if you select 1 mark, and of course no 0 marks if you don't have any of these. So these are the 2 main matrices where they are going to apply the benchmarks. One is the facilities for the energy, waste, water conservation, green campus, and disabled friendly environment. And second is auditing, regular auditing of the campus for going green. So these 2 matrices we need to focus on for the criteria 7. So thank you very much. This was from my side. And now we can have discussion if it is required, if any doubts are there.
Madam, if you have any questions, the participants can raise your queries. Madam, as far as best practices is concerned,
Yes.
it should be with academics or skill-oriented or any such activity. For example,
Any activity. Any activity.
But it should be followed simultaneously all the years, consecutively.
Yes. Yes.
We can't stop with any of the best practices.
At least for one, what I would suggest is at least for your one assessment period, 5 years. It is better if you continue.
Okay, madam. So thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us in detail and all the benchmarks you have shared us. And I invite Dr. Jayakumar sir to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone, to one and all present here. Honorable Resource Person, Madam Dr. Gauri Devasle, respected Principal Dr. D. Venkateshwaran, and all the participants all over the country. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank all the dignitaries. I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of the workshop for their presence and their contribution. First of all, I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Resource Person, Madam Dr. Gauri Devasle, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology and the Associate Member of IQAC Cluster, to take out the time from his busy schedule to grace the event. Madam, we are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. I would like to thank our management and our principal for providing the immense support for this program. And I must thank our IQAC coordinators, Dr. P.R. Shonia Madam and Mr. R. Vishnu Shankar Sir, for their hard work, and that without their efforts and hard work, we would not have been gathered here. Thank you for organizing such a wonderful program. Thank you. And my heartfelt thanks to all the participants all over the country from various colleges. Thank you. I express my thanks to our technical team. Once again, I thank everyone for making this program very grand successful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your final vote of thanks. Now, I hand over the session to Mr. R. Vishnu Shankar to read the report of the 2 days program.
Good evening to all. It gives me immense pleasure to read the report of 2 days NAC sponsored national workshop on innovative practices for data documentation of AQAR SSR under revised assessment aggregation framework, organized by Internal Quality Assurance in association with IQAC Cluster India on 14th and 15th December 2022 through online platform. The workshop commenced at 10 a.m. on 14th December 2022 with a prayer. Dr. P.R. Suganya welcomed the gathering. The principal and chairperson of IQAC, Dr. D. Venkateswaran, delivered the presidential address. He highlighted the significance of innovative practices on preparation of data documentation of AQAR and SSR. Dr. Leena Gahane, Deputy Advisor, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC, Bangalore, delivered inaugural and chief guest address. She emphasized on making a quality element on higher education in India through the combination of self and external quality evaluation promotion and substance initiatives. She also stressed the quality management system can be built on a strong foundation by following the key components and the role of IQAC to implement the performance evaluation assessment and accreditation process. Followed by session 1 at 10:45 a.m. Professor Piyush Pahade, the head Department of Zoology, H.V. Desai, College of Arts and Science and Commerce, Pune, the founder and president of IQAC Cluster India, delivered the keynote address on effective documentation. He highlighted the art of preserving work on documentation, its classification and annotations, texting, and related materials. The materials should be provided official information or evidence as record. Followed by session 2, criterion 1, curricular aspects, by Professor Pragsa, Assistant Professor and IQAC Coordinator, Modern College, Pune, delivered a special lecture on curricular aspects. He pointed out effective curriculum planning and delivering systems through well-planned and documented process. He stressed on introduction of number of value-added courses, certificate courses, MOOC, SWAYAM, and NTPNL courses for students, and also process of continuous feedback analysis and action taken report from all stakeholders of HEA. Session 3, teaching, learning, and evaluation, by Professor Dr. Deepak Nanare, Professor and Head DAV College of Commerce, Solapur. He highlighted the intake of students, admission of students as per the sanctioned strengths, presenting all sections of the society. He emphasizes the technique of to evaluate the performance of teachers and students and to establish mechanism to check attainment of predefined outcomes. Criterion 3, research, innovation, and extension. The fourth session commenced at 3:30 p.m. Dr. Veena R. Rai, Professor of Biochemistry, Nanapaya Medical University, Yanapaya Medical University, Mangalore. She stressed that the institution should be provide effort to promote research culture and innovative ecosystem on creating incubation center and transfer of knowledge. She pointed out the institution's social responsibility and core values to stress the community through extension and outreach activities. Day 2, 15th December 2022, session 1, criterion 4, infrastructure and learning resources by Professor Bharat, Associate Professor and Head Department of Physics. He delivered a special lecture on infrastructure and learning resources. He discussed the institutional preparedness to have adequate infrastructure facilities and optimum use of all type of infrastructure. The college should have a well-defined ICT and infrastructure and maintenance policy. Each higher education institutions will have more weightages of ICT infrastructure. Followed by session 2, criterion 5, student support and progression by Dr. Anuradha Rai, the former principal. She delivered a lecture on how the mechanisms should be facilitate the students for holistic development and progression by adapting a well-structured, organized guidance and counseling system. Each higher education system should encourage and promote inclusive practices for developing various skills for holistic development. She discussed the importance of establishing a strong alumni association in the institution and the contribution by alumni for social welfare for students and to promote resource mobilization. Criterion 6, governance, leadership and management by Dr. Badrunisha, advisor IQAC Cluster India and head quality control Kribanidhi Institute of Group of Institutions Bengaluru. She delivered a special lecture on governance, leadership and management. She pointed out effective leadership and decision-making process on organizational culture and values, the function of internal quality assurance cells on quality assurance strategies and processes. The end of day 2 session by Dr. Gauri Devasale, the assistant professor and associate committee member IQAC Cluster India. She pointed out the incremental development in all areas and doing regular practices of green audit, environmental audit, waste management process, etc. And successful implementation of best practices and the evidence for continuous success. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir, for the report that you have given for the past 2 days programs that we had. Now it's a time to conclude and let me propose a vote of thanks. Good evening once again to all the participants and Madam Gauri Devasale for your gracious presence. Gratitude is the language of the soul. It is indeed a great honor and pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. I express my heartfelt thanks to the management, the principal, the IQAC team, and the teaching and the administrative staff for their fullest cooperation till the end of the workshop. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Leena Gahane, Deputy Advisor, NAC Bangalore, for being the chief guest of the inaugural ceremony. I sincerely thank Professor Piyush Pahade, founder IQAC Cluster, for his meticulous presentation on effective documentation and the keynote address with hands-on training he dealt with. I express my words of gratitude to the entire team of resource persons as a family for their wonderful deliberations with illuminating ideas and making all the sessions as an eye-opening one. And all the participants for their interactions and the queries they raised after the end of each session. My special thanks to Dr. S. Badrunisha, the advisor of IQAC Cluster India and head of quality control, Kripanidhi Group of Institutions, Bangalore. Madam has been so kind enough in arranging the experts and acted as a bridge in connecting us in spite of a busiest and hectic schedule. Thank you so much, Madam. It's again a privilege and honor to thank all the participants of different sectors of the country for their enthusiasm and their participation and cooperation they have rendered all these 2 days, and their significant role has brought this program a grand success. I also register my thanks to the participants that the certificates will be issued within a week as the number has exceeded 1,000, for which the generation of certificates need a good deal of time. Until then, please cooperate with us. Feedback link for today's program has been posted in Google Meet and YouTube platforms. With these few words, I conclude by saying and wishing you all the best in life. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Badrunisa ma'am, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. You're muted, ma'am. Badrunisa ma'am, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking and I'm thinking that. Thank you, Gauri ma'am, for accepting the thing and in your busy schedule. I'm really very thankful for the management of Rajapalayam College for trusting the cluster, and they just said to plan and do the things as per our convenience.
Right.
And it was really pleasure working with Suganya for doing all these things, and it has been went on well. And the cluster will be always with the college for any other aspects to be done, and requirement is there, then we are here every time, anytime. Thank you for giving an opportunity, and thank you all clusteries who has been accepted the minute I have put a message, and it has been went well, getting a good feedback, personal messages also I'm getting for giving all the about all the speakers actually. So thank you.
And 1,000 registrations is a huge
1,000
number.
plus, ma'am. 1,000
Yes.
plus it is.
Really huge number.
Huge number. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Madam. Thank you so much for your cooperation these 2 days, ma'am. Wonderful programs you have given us, the insights in learning, and all clear-cut explanation of metrics, and we will be in touch with you. And we would like to, personally, I would message you regarding the MOUs, etc.
We will do it. Sure.
Thank you so much. Have a nice week. Thank you, ma'am.
Have a nice
Okay.
day.
Thank you. Thank you all. See you. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.